Guys, I am pumped for tonight's hashtag Wednesday match play. We're starting early, but we're starting early because I've got about 50 questions to ask tonight's guest. And I'm not going to waste any time explaining and talking about who this guy is because it's fun because I've known this guy on Twitter for probably 3 or 4 years or more. And I've only met him once, I believe, when we met in the parking lot at Greyhawk Golf Club. And I am just pumped that we've stayed in touch. And I'm excited to learn more about him tonight. Tonight's Wednesday match play, as always, is presented by Eat Sleep Golf, and tonight we're not talking as much golf stuff as golf art. And when I say art, this dude is a legend. Like, you see anything that he puts his hands on that he's created, and you just know that it's his. I'm going to make sure to include a whole bunch of links down there in the description to his stuff. He's got a media kit that we're going to talk about later tonight, but I'm more excited than anything to learn a little bit more about the name behind his company. But we have Herb with us from McNally22, and I don't even know where to begin to explain who you are. So I'm going to let you take a couple minutes to introduce yourself, talk about the brand, talk about the company, talk about the art. Herb, welcome to the Wednesday match play.
Ricky, thanks, man. Thanks to Eat Sleep Golf. This is awesome. I've been looking forward to this ever since we talked about it. I don't know, man. I love golf. I'm a graphic designer. I got linked into the whole golf family on social media like 4 or 5 years ago, and people started finding out that I could design stuff. And, you know, these indie companies started coming to me saying, can you do logos? Can you do ads? Can you design stuff for us? And I couldn't have been happier to do it. And I kind of quickly learned that, you know, I know what I can do, and I can provide, you know, top-notch marketing company level stuff at a fraction of the cost other people charge. And I love doing it. They get a bargain, and I can offer them something that they really couldn't get anywhere else.
Well, that's really cool. And like I said, everything I see of yours, and you've worked with so many companies that in that community and that family of golf, like you just flipping through your website and your portfolio and stuff. It's like, I know them, I know them, I know him, I know them, I know her. So it's really cool that you've been able and you've done it so well, and the art is so good. It's such top quality. I mean, you got your logo on the wall behind you there, and it's just unbelievable how good your stuff is. So like I said, I'm going to throw some links down there in the description below to where people can see your stuff. And I'm excited to learn more about it. And I'm always excited to see new things that you're working on and new companies you're working with. But we're going to dig into that here in a little bit. But where did the name come from? What's the 22?
My birthday, February 2nd. The number 22 shows up all over the place. It's in my social security number. It's in the zip code where I was born. It was in my college address. It was in my college ID. I've hit roulette wheels on it multiple times. Like, it was my hockey number. Like, 22 is just kind of my thing, and, you know, I have it on my wrist for a reason. So
that's really cool.
Yeah.
And I was born on July 22nd. So see, I mean,
it's a good number, man.
It's the way it is. That's awesome. So you work with a lot of different companies, a lot of different brands, big, small, all across the board. So who are some of your current clients that you're working with, or that you've recently released products for, designs for, just in the last few months?
Ready Putt. They're a putter cover, great company. I do a lot of work with Photo Ball Marker, 59 Belts. I've been doing a lot of work with UFO Tour Golf, designing, you know, helping them with some vector graphics for their golf bags. Snap hooks, Golf Dots, Golf Iconic. I mean, just there's so many awesome companies I'm working with right now. I couldn't be happier.
Well, the Ready Putt, I'm glad that you said that, because he's a good friend of mine, and I don't see him as much as I'd like, but I'll make sure I send him the link to this because he got a shout out. So that's really cool. And the product works. I've got it on my putter. Like, it's legit.
He might be a busier man than both of us. That guy, he's like, dude, I've been working like 14 hours a day. I was like, all right.
He plays a lot of golf, though. I mean, he does play a lot of golf. So I'm just I'll see how much he's working when I see him on the golf course. So Eat Sleep Golf, as you know, the presenting sponsor of the Wednesday Match Play, you know those guys, which is awesome. They have a whole bunch of good questions that they submitted. And the first thing is, how long have you been working in graphic design, and what did that journey for you look like? So talk a little bit about that and where you got started and how long you've been doing this.
Well, I fell in love with it in high school, and I went to college as a graphic design major, and after college, I started working for a national advertising company that I've been with for going on 16 years. and that's my day job. And you know, that's advertising during the day, and then I get to turn my attention to something I love at night. You know, and on the weekends, you know, I love golf. So if I can take my talent and spread it across the golf industry, that's ideal.
Yeah, everybody at home watching, he has a job during the day too. As all these companies he works with, he also works 40 hours a week. So I always seem to forget that because I'm always like, God, this guy pumps out a lot of work. He must be busy. Wait, he's also working a full-time job. So
Yeah,
that's really cool. So what have been some of your favorite clients to work with over the years? I mean, you just rambled off a ton of them, but have you had any that you've worked with time and time again that have become some of your favorite clients to work with?
59 belts, period. Trevor is amazing. I don't design for him. I take his designs and kind of help him translate them, and him and I have just done some amazing work. Golf dots has always been really cool, just because I couldn't imagine designing things that are like 1/4 of an inch that you stamp onto a golf ball. Stamp Your Ball company from over in Britain that make the little golf stamps that you put on your ball. They're a lot of fun to work with. Snap Hooks, another great client. You know, they make those accessory hangers that you put in your bag. So I designed those 1/2-inch strips that they build their straps out of. Dude, I have so much fun. It's fun, period.
Yeah. It sounds like you have a pretty good time doing this. So now walk me through your process. So let's say you sign a new client and you're doing a logo. Let's say you're doing a logo for John Doe Golf Company. What's your process look like? How do you get started? What's the conversation like with the client? How much do you communicate with them? Like, just pretend that I'm a new client. We just started working together. Walk me through that process.
Well, what I would tell you is, do you have an idea of what you want? A lot of times, like, having an idea in your head and knowing what it's going to look like on paper or on screen are two different things. I'm a very visual person, so I can kind of see the finished product. A lot of people can't see that. It's just the way people, you know, it's just the way we work. We're all different. So I would tell you, hey, look, I'll throw you like 6 ideas. From there, you tell me the fonts you like, you tell me the colors you like, we'll refine it. And then we'll work on multiple versions of that refined version, and we'll nail it down to something that you think is perfect. And when we're done, you're going to walk away with web graphics, print graphics, screen printing graphics, icons, social media icons. You're going to walk away with like as many versions of that logo as you need in as many colors as you need. And I'm going to do it for like $300 or $500, whereas with another company, you'd probably pay like $3 or $4 grand.
Yeah, I was gonna say you're missing a zero there if you're doing it for $300 or $500. My goodness, that is gonna be one of my questions in a little bit is what you charge and how you price. So you price very very competitively, I think is the way that conversation is gonna go. So you work with clients outside of golf, or is it does it have to be a golf company?
No, it doesn't have to be a golf company. But what's crazy is they're all golfers. Like over the past 3 or 4 years, like, there are other ventures that these golf lovers have that have found me on social media, whether they be like books or other professional like ventures that they have. They come to me, and I mean, it doesn't need to be golf. It's all about just translating a vision. And
That's really cool.
yeah, I'm happy to be able to do that.
Wow. Who are just a couple of non-golf clients that you've worked with? Because I because I'm a golfer too, so I'm focused on the golf side of things, and I assume that you did, and it's good to hear that you do. But who are a couple of non-golf clients you've worked with?
Well, I don't know if you've heard of Sertoma. They're a they're a national charity that does a lot of charity work for the hearing impaired. Here locally, they do a big like chicken barbecue every summer, and they have regional conferences and stuff, and they raise a ton of money for the hearing impaired. And right now, I'm working on their Northeast Regional Conference marketing material and their posters and their signage and stuff like that. I actually did some work with the U.S. Navy and the U.S. Marines for some regionalized stuff for them. And yeah, yeah, I've done a lot outside of the golf world, but everything came from the golf world.
Yeah, that's really cool. So at all of the pieces you've designed, I mean, you've designed obviously stuff from logo. I mean, logos, I think of you when I think of your art, I immediately think logo first, because those are the things that I've seen so much of that I haven't dug from a daily basis when I look at your stuff, that I'm not digging into like the marketing materials or the icons or what have you. It's logos that I think about. But having said that, have you ever done a piece start to finish, soup to nuts, all black and white? And if so, what was it?
Oh, wow, they've probably been a couple of them. Wow, that's a good question. I've done a lot of black and white stuff. I did some work for the DKF boys. I did a logo for them with, it's the one they go by, DKF and the boys up the side. That was all black and white. A job that I worked with Trevor Durheim on was the rotating 59. I don't know if you saw that. I had one of the most amazing professors in college who taught me how to draw ambigrams. I don't know if you know what an ambigram is, but it's
Google it.
go ahead and go to ambigram. I'm gonna let you Google it.
Oh, neat.
Yeah,
that's really neat.
Do you know Angels and Demons?
Yeah.
The guy who did all the work for that movie was one of my actual college professors.
No way. That's really cool.
Yeah, John Langdon. He was an amazing man. I miss him. He's a friend on Facebook. Thankfully, I found him. But it's because of him that I was able to help Trevor with his rotating 59. Where it says 50 one way, and then when it rotates, it says 9. I don't know if you've seen that.
Yeah, I have. Yeah, it's just interesting to how all these parallels just tie themselves back together. Like that's crazy cool.
I'm blessed to know a lot of amazing people, man.
That's awesome. Tell me about your blog. On your website, you've got a blog. Talk about that a little bit. Where are you getting content from? And
I have a website because I should have a website. Every once in a while, I put some stuff up there with cool projects I'm working with. Lately, I've been getting a lot of people reaching out to me saying, hey, can you help promote our benefit tournament? Can you help promote this charity? And I guess the best way I can help out is to help promote it. Like, I don't always have the money to donate. I can't always show up and play. I can't always sponsor a hole. So from now on, whenever anybody wants me to help spread the word about a charity tournament, I'm going to post it on my website. I figure, I have the website there because I should have one, and why not just help spread the word about a good cause?
I like that. I have a website because I should have one. So Eat Sleep Golf, I mean, obviously you're very active in social media. They wanted to know that because you're really active in social media and these social communities that are out there, including, and I wish you were more active in the Google Plus Golf community, but we'll talk about that offline. What role does social media play in your business? I can't imagine that it's not a huge part of that.
I wouldn't have a business without social media. I mean, it all started on Twitter. Going on, well, more than 4 years ago, I ran into a guy. I got home from work one day. My now wife wasn't home yet, and I was like, I'm on Twitter. Let me see what's going on in the golf world. And there was this guy over in England named Steve Power, who is I Bleed Golf, and started this thing about, posting your lowest score and changing your avatar to your lowest score. And I got involved, and I started just designing avatars for people on Twitter so they could have their lowest score on there. And, thanks to Steve and that whole thing, like, social media turned me into a business, because I was knocking these things out in like 2 minutes and not thinking that anybody couldn't do that kind of stuff. So
that's crazy cool. That was 4 years ago, you said?
What's that?
That was 4 years ago?
That was about 4.5 years ago. It was the whole hashtag show me your number.
I remember that. Yeah.
Yeah, that's what got me into this whole mess.
That's what started it all.
It started it all.
Cool. So do you offer services beyond graphic design, event planning, promotion, branding, social promotions, etc., or is it just strictly the art side of stuff?
I am happy to talk to my design clients about how I think they could well market themselves, but I'm not a marketing guy. I'm a designer, you know, but I have an idea of what makes a good offer and what can help bring people in and what margins are and stuff like that. So I'll talk to clients about that, but I have no desire to get into that business.
Yeah, just design. You're so good at it.
Just design. I'm a designer. I make things look pretty.
So how often do you update your media kit? And again, I'm going to throw a link in the description down below. You have a media kit that's really impressive. It's got testimonials and examples of your work and photography and so forth. Do you update that yearly, or is it just kind of one and done, or how often are you updating that, if at all?
Well, I only built one less than a year ago because I was going to the PGA show. And I plan to update it this year and do that annually, you know, update my jobs, update, you know, different things that I learned how to do and offer. But it's kind of an afterthought, man. I mean, if I'm not too busy that I have time to do it.
Yeah.
You know, I love keeping my stuff up to date. And as every artist out there, we don't do it enough. But I'm going to try. I hope to get a new media kit out there this year.
Very cool. Well, let me know when you do, and I'll make sure that it gets shared to all the right places on my end.
I'm still pretty stoked about this one.
Yeah. So, all right, let's stop being excited about how good the art is, because it is really good. And again, I'm going to throw some links down there below, but I got to pay you. So what do you charge? Is it per hour, per project? Does it vary? What is your hourly rate? Like, talk me through it. Like, let's talk about what I'm going to have to pay.
If it's a big job, we'll sit down and talk about it, figure out how long it's going to be, and I'm going to give you a package rate. And like I said, it's going to be, depending on how long I think the logo is going to take and how many files I'm going to need to deliver, it's going to be $300 to $500. We can get up to $500 to $1,000 if you want some web graphics, web banners, if you want me to design all your social media pages, stuff like that. If it's small jobs, I'm going to charge you $50 an hour. If you need me to create some vector stuff, and it takes me 15 minutes, you owe me $25. You know, it's that easy. I mean, I'm fast. I'm fast.
Is your computer fast? I mean, are you updating your hardware and software often? Or I mean, obviously you're on a Mac. You better be on a Mac.
I'm not on a Mac, man.
All right. Well, this is over.
You want to talk about that?
Yeah. Please explain how you're not on a Mac.
Because I have a lot of stuff I like outside of design that makes a PC more preferable. And I can be just as fast in Photoshop on a PC as I can on a Mac.
All right. I'll allow that. I don't like it, but I'll allow it. So have you ever done pro bono work, or you might as well just not, because you charge so little. Oh my goodness. I mean, don't tell anybody that I said that, but you don't charge enough. You should charge more. But have you ever done any pro bono work over the years? And if so, what was it?
I did. I've done a lot of, I do pro bono work all the time. Like I said, I mean, I'll design stuff to make your post look flashy. If you're hosting a charity event, I want to put it on my website. 18 for Life. I do stuff for them every year. It's pro bono. I love that charity. When it comes to charity work, man, and you need me to do something quick and easy, I'll knock it out for you. I'll promote it for you. I'll design a quick logo. I'll design a quick flyer. If it's for the good cause, pro bono work all the time.
That's cool. Good for you. That's
yeah.
Really cool. So do you work with the same clients on an ongoing basis, or are you always looking for new clients and new projects? I mean, you seem to be pretty darn busy.
Well, I'm mostly busy because of that 40-hour-a-week thing. So if I get more clients, I have that whole job thing. So yeah, bring on the new clients. As long as they can fill 40 hours a week, I'll take them.
That's really cool. So the logo that you have that's behind you, explain that. Like, what is that? I mean, it's really cool, and it's a very iconic logo for what you do and who you are. But explain kind of the top of that.
It means a lot that you call that iconic. And there, I'll put it a little more in focus for you. I'm a punk. Like, I was in punk bands most of my life. I actually came into golf after I left the whole punk music thing. One day I just got sick of those nights and sick of the drama and sick of the drugs and the alcohol and the getting home at 4 a.m. and quit a band and told my now wife that, look, I'm just going to look for something new. And I sold my guitars and my amps and I bought golf clubs. And I started playing golf every weekend, you know, getting up at 5 a.m. instead of going to sleep at 5 a.m. And it made me a happier person, but I'm still a punk. You know,
and I have to know, did you ever have hair that looked like that? Because you don't now.
I'm going to. I'm planning on it.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
So Eat Sleep Golf brings up your charity tournament that you were involved with last year, and it was a huge hit from what I saw online. Talk a little bit more about that, what the charity was, and the success that you had at that event.
18 for Life, amazing people, based out of Dexter, Missouri. They started this charity years back, and rather than raising money to give to a foundation or an organization, they take all the money they raise and they write checks for $1,000 to people who are fighting cancer. You know, there are donations of love to people who are fighting cancer, saying, hey, we know you could use this for whatever you need it for right now. And I've been working with them for a few years, you know, designing logos for their events and stuff like that. And I asked them, I was like, look, I want to host something up here in Pennsylvania, and I'd love to have your name on it, and I'd love to do the same thing for my community. And they agreed to let me do it. And I decided that I wanted to do something a little different. I'm a short game guy. I love wedges and putters, and I love golf, and period. I'll go out and play golf, but if I'm going out, I'd love to spend 2 hours on a short game course and have 18 chances at a hole-in-one, because that's my favorite part of the game. So I had it at a pitch and putt course in Hummelstown, which is just a beautiful course. The longest hole is 80 yards. We had kids come out and play. We had people come out and play that have never played golf before. And we raised $13,000 and wrote a bunch of checks to people locally that are fighting cancer.
That's really cool. What a cool idea. Good for you for doing that. Now, talking about pitch and putt courses, you need to come back to Scottsdale and get down to Maricopa to play #Mini Dunes. It's a 6-hole short course built on the floor of the driving range at Auction Southern Dunes. It is. I honestly sometimes just drive down there to play Southern Dunes so I can go play Mini Dunes. It's like it's a cool little concept, and they keep the greens to the same height as the golf course. And at 2 o'clock every day they close the range. From 2 to 3 they pick every ball off the range. 3 o'clock it's open. Go out and play 6-hole loops, and it's got a hashtag in the name of the golf course. So that alone makes it cool and worth playing.
I love the short game, man.
That's awesome. Good for you. I've not had a hole-in-one. I don't want to talk about it because I've had some stories that go along with it, and you're going to have a question in your back nine about hole-in-ones. So we'll get to that in a little bit. So we've talked about Twitter, and you are all over Facebook, et cetera. You got all the social networks going on. Out of all of the social networks that you're using, what's your favorite and why?
My favorite personally, Instagram, just because there's so much cool stuff on Instagram. And I don't need to read. I just look at cool stuff and just kind of double tap and favorite it.
Double tap.
Yeah. I guess more personally, you know, I have a lot of close friends on Facebook that don't necessarily follow me professionally on Twitter and my Facebook page and stuff. I love Twitter, man. Twitter's always just been really good to me, and that's where most of my work comes from. People just seem to reach out to me on Twitter, and I couldn't be happier for it. It's just I don't know what it is. It's just people get in contact with me on Twitter.
140 characters is all you need. That's where we met, and I can't imagine. I mean, I see you on other networks, but Twitter is where you and I have and will continue to connect the most. So I dig that. So to all of the people that are watching right now that are looking for a logo, that need a new project, are you looking for new clients? Are you actively seeking them? I mean, you're obviously busy, but I mean, are you looking for new clients? And if so, at what point does that kind of just cap out and you can't take on any more clients?
It's never going to cap out. My turnaround time right now, if somebody says, "Hey Herb, I need this done," I'm like, "Okay, I'll get it to you by next weekend." I figure I can take that times 4 before, like, there's no reason I couldn't say to somebody, "Okay, can I have it to you by the end of the month?" So I'm far from capping out, and I'll never say no to a new client. I do get a little selective. I mean, there definitely is a conversation that happens, like, "Hey, what do you need? When do you need it by? Here's what I'm going to charge," that type of stuff. And there are people that say, "Okay, that's a little bit out of my range." And as you know, 2 years ago, I would have been like, "Okay, let me knock it back a little bit." But you know what I mean? Like, I'm not going to say, "Okay, I'm not going to knock it back a little bit now." Like, not being arrogant. There's people out there that are willing to pay the very low fee that I charge for professional work, and I'll take as much of it as I can get. Bring it on.
Yeah, I dig that. So you've obviously had a lot of success with your clients. Has there ever been a case where you've had a negative experience with a client where it hasn't worked out the way that you've wanted it to, or you've not been able to provide the service or the quality of work that you've wanted to? Have you had any negative examples over the course of your career?
Yeah, I've had both sides of that. I did have a client probably about 2 years ago where we worked on a logo over and over and over and over again. And I think it was miscommunication and like too many hands in the pot. Like, you know, the person would like something, but then they showed it to somebody and they didn't like it, so they wanted me to change it. So I changed it, and then they showed it to somebody else and they didn't like it, so they wanted me to change it. And we just ended up just saying, let's both just walk away from this, because we worked on it for months and months and months, and they just weren't happy with what I was providing. And now later, they're still using the same logo they were before they ever came to me. So I don't know that they ever really wanted to change it in the first place. On the other side of that, I had a real bad experience a few months back with somebody who I had good faith in and I was doing a lot of work for, and they just have refused to pay me. They just, 4 months later, they still owe me a few grand and nothing. So I like to work on a handshake. Like I do. I do not send out a contract. I won't, because if it comes down to that, I'm not a businessman. I'm a designer. Like, I want to work for you. I don't want to work with you. Mm-hmm. I don't want to send you a contract, because if it comes down to that, I don't want to do the work. But I got burned on it, and I learned, and now I asked for some payment up front. So
still no contracts. Now, I didn't tell you before we went live that this was going to fly by, and it literally already has. We only have a few minutes left. And before we finish, I do have this thing called the back nine that we're going to get to real quick. But I have to ask, out of all of the things that you've designed, from the first thing that you designed to the thing that you just finished before we went live, out of all of that, do you have a single piece that you like more than anything else? And if so, what is that piece?
My own logo. My own logo was not my logo when I started, but it was just a piece that kind of evolved through some other work I was doing, and then it became my logo. And yeah, by far, man, like, that's gonna be my favorite piece until the day I die.
What is that logo on? I'm sure it's on shirts and hats and stuff. Do you have it on your golf bag? Like, where else have you seen that logo?
I have golf dots, I have snap hooks, I have it embroidered on a golf towel. Like, I've got stickers and T-shirts, and yeah, it's all over the place.
Now, you mentioned your wife in here, and she hasn't come into the conversation. Like, you have this full-time job, then you come home and you do all of this work in your office. Like, is she cool with all that, or did she know that coming in? Did she knew what you signed up for?
Oh no, it kind of, she took on the golf life with me, man. I mean, cool. She's a great golfer. We kind of both took up the hobby together, and she loves it, and she beats me from time to time, man.
Let her win, or does she just go ahead and beat you anyway?
Dude, I do not play with many friends who have a more consistent driver than my wife. She's like 200 down the middle every
Every time.
Like, every time. And she's 5'2". And she's just right down the middle, and she can putt, and she can hit her wedges, and she just
You're not
loves
bitter
it.
about that at all, are you?
No, man, because she's my scramble partner half the time. I love it.
She gets to tee it forward, and she's right down the middle 200. I love that. Dude, well, I can't thank you enough for having come on this show, man. This is fantastic. We're getting a lot of good feedback from past guests of the Hashtag Wednesday Match Play, so I appreciate all the feedback coming in on Twitter. But before we let you go, I've got this. It's 9 fun golf-ish related questions. Have nothing to do with you and the brand. It's just about you and the game of golf. So are you ready for your back 9?
Bring it on, dude.
What golf ball do you currently use?
Right now, I'm using a Sri San Z-Star.
Ooh, that's a popular ball I found lately. I like the way it feels. It doesn't spin enough for me to put it into play, but that is a really good ball, and it seems to be catching on some.
Can I add a side note there?
Yeah, of course.
I had previously been using some indie balls that a Acushnet kind of screwed over.
Oh, darn. What is your favorite color? Say red.
It's not red. If I had to pick one, I'm going to go with Ricky Orange.
Okay. I was hoping you were going to say red because that's Tiger's color, and he wears it on Sunday. But he hasn't worn that. I wonder, though, if Tiger's sitting there like Sunday mornings, he gets up and he's got to go run errands and he's got to go to the store. If he throws on a red shirt every Sunday just because, like, I wonder if that's in his conversation.
I hope he's not thinking, is this Patrick Reed red?
That's a good point. Let's have a drink. What are you ordering?
Iced tea. I don't drink.
Okay. I respect that. As I'm sitting here finishing a beer, I know I feel bad.
Cheers, brother.
Okay. What is your home course?
Highlands of Donegal, about 3 miles down the road. It's as close to a link style course as you can get around here. It's really windy, and there's not a flat spot on it, and it's a lot of fun.
That sounds fun. I like the name too. That's really cool. I dig that. So, who is your favorite LPGA Tour player?
Oh, Lydia.
Okay, that's a good, popular, easy go-to answer right now.
Well, dude, how can you not cheer for her?
Yeah, she's fun to watch. That's for sure. Have you ever had an ace?
2.
Not fair. Next. Okay, so you've had 2. Do you remember the yardages, and did you save the golf ball?
I have both golf balls. The first one was 95 yards. The second one was 117.
That's pretty cool. I dig that. What course? Same course? This is way more than 10 questions, but
Evergreen Golf Course, which is about it's out in the middle of Amishville, and the other one was actually at the par 3 course where I had the event.
That's really cool. I dig that too. I need to play more par 3 courses, I think.
Well, so, 18 chances, man.
Yeah, no kidding. That's it. I like those odds a little bit better. So we've talked about Tiger a little bit. Tiger's above me. He's looking over us. He's probably wearing red, not Patrick Reed red. Now, this has been a hot topic of conversation on Twitter. Matt Kuchar came out and said that he's heard rumors this might happen. But do you think Davis Love III is going to pick Tiger as his final pick to be a co-captain playing in the Ryder Cup? Because that would break the internet, literally. Tiger says, I might come back, and it breaks the internet. Can you imagine what this would do?
If he doesn't pick Bubba, he better pick Tiger.
All right, I dig that. I don't know who else he would pick, like right now. Like, I don't think Ricky was a good pick because Ricky's not playing.
I'm a little upset that Bubba's not there.
Yeah.
Number 10? How do you not pick number 10?
Yeah. I'm a little – some of the picks – like Kuchar, too. Like, Kuchar he's consistent, but I feel like Bubba's playing better and has been for longer than Kuchar has. But I will say I like Kuchar more now because he said that he thinks that Davis might pick Tiger. So, you know, I've got the Tiger. Now, and I got to bring Tiger back into this one more time. Be nice in how you respond to this. But assuming Tiger comes back and he's healthy, and he can play for another 3 to 5 years, do you think he can break Jack's record? Why or why not?
I do not think he can. I would love to see him do it. I would love to see him do it back to back to back to back to back to back to back. Tiger's the greatest thing that's ever happened to golf. Is he the greatest player? I don't know. Will golf live beyond him? Absolutely.
I think that might be the best answer we've ever had to that question, because yeah, I'm gonna have to rewatch this and write that down, because that's the smartest thing I've heard today. I dig that.
Thank you.
Very, very well said. And your final question of your hashtag Wednesday match play, it's late where you are, so you got to get to bed, and it's early where I am, and I got to get some dinner. But what's next for you and the brand that is creating some of the best golf art there is on the internet right now? What's next?
Making more friends and having fun doing what I'm doing, man. Like, if it's not fun, I don't care to do it. I want to help people out. I want to make them a badass brand, and I want to make friends along the way. That's the best part of what I've been doing, and that's why I'm going to continue to do it.
Oh, dude, that's such a great answer, man. I cannot thank you enough. This has been so fantastic. Thank you for coming on this show. I look forward to following you more and getting more of your upcoming work, and I'll make sure that this gets blasted all over the place. The guys at Eat Sleep Golf will make sure it gets posted and shared everywhere possible. And I hope that you have a great evening. Enjoy your weekend. And as always, on the hashtag Wednesday Match Plays, you have to remember to eat, sleep, golf.